Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to Fierce Female Friday. As people start to come in to the webinar this Friday, our Friday Fierce Female Friday hour, Power Hour with Burton, Jocelyn, Lomahan, Rhonda, Keliipio, Karen Stone, Audrey Lollis, and Laine Kostegian. Oh, I want to know how you pronounce your last name. Did I say it right?
It was pretty close. Kostegian.
Kostegian. All right. Before we get started, why don't you share with us where you're zooming in from in the country or in the world? Let us know where you're from. I'm zooming in from gloomy Southern California. Remember to pull the drop down on the chat to everyone, so everyone can see who where you're joining us from. I don't know, Kathy. I think Sherman Oaks is colder than San Francisco today. And as you all come in, thank you so much for sharing where you are. We are going to be sharing a quick sizzle reel for the WomanUP retreat coming up. Almost 3 weeks, maybe 2.5. Go ahead, roll tape. Wasn't that awesome to get us in the mood for this Friday afternoon before our Memorial Day weekend? So thank you to the WomanUP team. Fatima and Melanie are behind the scenes sharing all the information, and we could not do this without them. So I wanted to give them some love. And before we get started in this amazing conversation, I am Sarah Sudachan. I'm Chief Strategy Officer and Senior Vice President at the California Association of Realtors, and also co-founder for what we lovingly know as our WomanUP community. And I'm so happy to be here with you this Friday. Also, make sure if you loved what you saw in that video, make sure you follow at WomanUP Official on Instagram. Make sure you join the WomanUP Facebook group. We have so many of our WaveMakers posting in addition to the ones that are with us today. And also the team posts a lot of fun stuff that we'll be doing at the retreat. So, and that brings me to my next update is our WomanUP retreat. We're having that June 13th and 14th in Oceanside, California. That's O-side to locals down south, south from me. I'm in LA. And we are very excited about this brand new, it's almost brand new Seabird Resort and Spa. So that is where we're headed next month. And we just launched our speaker page. So all of our speakers have been signed, dotted, and approved, and we're so excited. Our lineup is amazing. We have people like Sherry Chris coming out of retirement to talk to us, Leslie Appleton Young, who many of you may know from also my fellow co-founder, but also from CAR and our former chief economist here at the association, but so many others, Kamini Laine, and our all-female leadership team headed by Jennifer Branchini at the California Association of Realtors, Melanie Barker, our president-elect, and Heather Osier, our treasurer. This is the first time in history that the association is led by an all-female leadership team. So I'm very excited. They'll be in and out and around at the entire conference, and you'll get to meet them and talk to them and hear how they did it. And we're also hopefully going to bring them onto a Friday show before the event. So you'll get to know a little bit more about their leadership journey and how you too can make history. I am wearing a prop. I am wearing our exclusive 2023 WomanUP gear. It's hot rosé, and it is on sale right now. And I believe our pop-up, so it's pre-sale, and then we'll have it for you when you come to the retreat. So all you have to do is pick it up and then put it on. But you do have to do a pre-order. So pre-orders end today, midnight. So the team here is going to drop a link in the chat for you. Oh, already did, to get your exclusive retreat swag. And as you all have heard, our theme for this event and what we're doing together is Together We. And so you see that Together We 2023 WomanUP. We're very, very, very excited to share with you all about what we're going to do at the retreat. And so if you haven't purchased your ticket or you're still considering it, check it out. You can see the lineup, you can see all the content, you can see all the speakers at IamWomanUp.com. I am so excited to highlight the amazing WaveMakers. And there's one thing that our WaveMakers are doing this year, and this is something I'm really looking forward to, is they are hosting some dinners. They're taking some people out to get to dinner. It is no host. You bring your own credit card, but it is an awesome opportunity to get to know people you may not have had a chance to get to know. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And with that, I'm going to pass the mic over to our amazing WaveMakers here today, starting with Rhonda. They're all going to introduce themselves, and then, they're going to run the show. So thank you, Rhonda. Thank you, Kama. Thank you, Jocelyn. And we will see you hopefully soon.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah.
And welcome all to the fierce ladies in our audience today. And we're super excited today to welcome our three guests, Audrey, Karen, and Laine. And we want to start from the beginning. So if you would please introduce yourself, share who you are, where you are, and why you love doing what you do. And we're going to kick it off today with Audrey.
Hey everybody, how are you? My name is Audrey Lollis, and I am an executive loan officer for Rocket Mortgage. I've been with Rocket Mortgage for 2 months, and I've actually been in the industry since 2003. So I'm super excited for this transition in my career. And it's been a great transition so far. I love doing what I do. Well, number one, I love numbers, I love finance, but the biggest thing for me is really that rush I get when I help that first-time home buyer get into their first home, and then now I'm a part of their memory. Like that to me is the most important thing, because yeah, sure, I can help. I can do jumbo loans all day, ladies. Okay, don't get me wrong, but it's that first-time home buyer that will always remember me. That's what I love the most. So that's it. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you. And Karen, let's start with you.
Hi, I'm Karen Stone. I'm a realtor by day. I do some stand-up comedy I'm a speaker, and I am a junkie for conferences, which is how I met the amazing women of WomanUP. I was actually born in Southern California. I went to college in the Midwest. I lived in New York for 15 years. Then the pandemic hit, and I made a pandemic pivot and drove across the country and moved to the mountains. And I now live in Park City, Utah. I still sell in New York as well. And I aspire to be the person who always has a woman or a guy, whether it's for an entrepreneur, a real estate client, or a tourist. And as a realtor, I love being creative with my marketing by using strategies that most agents don't, mainly through my video marketing. That's a little bit about me. So thrilled to be here. Thank you.
And Laine, as in Penny Lane. You're up.
Hey guys, I am Laine Kostegian. I'm a strategic sales director with Rocket Mortgage. I live and work in Detroit, Michigan at our headquarters downtown. And part of what I do, strategic sales director is very vague, is I make connections between agents, brokers, and brands or organizations. I just got to spend some time with both Jocelyn and Sarah last week with Aria in DC, which is really cool. And connecting them to Rocket Mortgage in the many ways to use Rocket Mortgage. You have probably seen our commercials, but there's a lot more of like the human aspect of how do you get connected with the right person, like an Audrey that lives in Southern California, or working with somebody at one of more of our central locations via lead flow. Is it a desk share opportunity? Is it co-marketing? There's just a ton of different ways. So I get to be that conduit. And why I love this opportunity is I just love making connections. Like Karen shared, she loves having a guy, a go-to person, whether it be male or female. I love being able to support somebody. And even if it's outside of the business, if it's like a hairstylist that linked to those shoes that somebody was wearing, like I love being that person that can connect people. And that's something I've been passionate about my entire life. I know we've got a couple other loan officers from the company on just listening today. And I'm sure Carolyn, Julie, I see you on here, you're going like, yep, that is Laine to a T, is just making those connections. Also, I was influenced by this lip gloss. Stacy, I'll send you the link. No worries.
Well, thank you so much, ladies. We are excited to have you all on. And we know that WomanUP is really big on building female leaders. As you heard, this is the first time in history that the California Association has seen 3 female leaders. So it's just a wonderful place to be. So I'm going to ask, what was your first leadership role? And we'll start with Audrey.
You know, I was thinking about that, and I've been a leader in the past twice. The first time, and I'd forgotten about this, is I actually worked at Marshall's when I was in college, and I was the the service desk supervisor. So that person that is, going back and forth and getting change and returning, taking all those returns, and I did that. So that was my first leadership role was running the Marshall service desk. Yes, that's it. So
Awesome.
Good times. And I love discount stores, just so you all know. I'm an expert at discount stores. So
well, maybe I need to talk to you because I need to understand
you do.
a little bit more.
Yes, and you get 10% off at Ross if you're 55 or older, just so you know.
I'm not there yet, but
not there yet.
Let us know. Hope I don't look like that, right?
No, you don't. I'm just saying. Anyone that needs that information, there it is.
Awesome. Jocelyn, what was your first role as a leader?
Hi, everyone. My name is Jocelyn, and my first leadership role was I was a manager at Wells Fargo Bank, which was really cool because I started off as a teller when I was 18 and then worked my way up. But if I'm really thinking about it, I think my first leadership role was actually in high school. I was a captain of my tall flags in the marching band. So I think that probably counts as more of a first leadership role.
Yeah, sometimes when we think about leadership, we think about what we did as an adult. And sometimes if we can just dig back a little bit deeper, because even as you all are speaking, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I think I've been leading since I was a child,
Yeah.
So it's amazing how the things that we started off with, where we are today.
Exactly.
All right, Karen.
I was a follower pretty much for all of my teenage years until I got to college, where I became a resident assistant. I know what you're thinking. It's a super cool role to have. I went to school at Indiana University, And after that, once I moved to New York, I actually had the chance to become the president of the IU Alumni Association for the entire Metro New York area of about 14,000 alums. So I guess being an RA helped.
Well, we all start somewhere, right? That's huge. All right, Laine.
I definitely was a child leader. I was the president of my student council in both elementary and middle school. And then professionally, I owned a handful of retail stores in my early 20s. And so I got to lead a lot of young college students working for their, fun money for the weekends. And that was really my first professional leadership experience. But yeah, came out of the womb as a leader.
But that's good that you recognize it. So you recognize it at an even an early age. We got so many great young leaders here that we got to continue to push and build up. All right, Rhonda.
Well, I'm going to say that the most memorable leadership position I had was PTA president, because if you can negotiate between red and purple punch, I'm telling you that sets your leadership journey on a whole new level. So that was good fun for sure. How about you, Kama?
I'm just, again, thinking like, oh my gosh, I've been leading when I was young. But one of the things that kind of stands out as an adult, I had taken over being a director for a stage play. I wasn't looking to act. I was an actress in there. Next thing I know, I'm the director of this play and we're traveling. And I had about 22 to 25 cast members that I had to help in their roles of acting. And I'm not the actress, not whatsoever, but someone seen something in me. And that's the first memorable one that really set me off to really dig deeper to sharpen my leadership skills.
That's awesome, Kama. And speaking of leadership skills, I want to ask all of you ladies, what is the life or leadership advice that you give most often? And we'll start with Karen.
Well, this is one that I heard most recently, and it really stuck with me. It's not enough to know your leadership style, but you have to know the leadership style of everybody on your team, whether they're the attorneys that you're working with or a buyer's agent. If you know what drives them and how they like to lead, then you can lead them better. So it's not just about you as the leader if you have that title.
Awesome. Laine?
I think the biggest thing that I say fairly regularly is that you don't have to know everything. I think as a leader, there's a lot of pressure that I have to have all the answers. I have to have every skill that I'm coaching or teaching or leading somebody else in. And I think other leadership skills and traits are far more followable. Being vulnerable, being authentic, being real. Like, there's nothing wrong with saying like, hey, Jocelyn, like, I have no idea, but let's figure it out together in a confident way rather than panicking. And I think that holds a lot of people back from not leading, is that they don't think they know all the answers. And so they don't say, I can do this. They say, here's all the reasons why I can't. So building that quiet confidence that like, I will figure these things out. There's a pathway to do that. And, going back to what I mentioned earlier, there's a team of people supporting you. It's like, you've got a guy, Karen, you don't have to be incredible at, the attorney stuff because you have somebody that does that. And I think that's really important as a leader, is being able to delegate and direct and not have to hold all the cards yourself.
That's great, Laine. Let's hear from Audrey.
Yeah, so I was thinking about this, and really, I think in being a leader, it's really important to understand our own biases and understanding that we are having a story about other people in our mind based on what we think, and really kind of observing what our story is, and then trying to separate ourselves out from what they're saying and understanding what their story is too and how they feel. And when you can do that as a leader, then people have an ability to respect you a little bit more because your biases aren't coming through. They really can feel like you're connected with them. And so that's a skill I feel that I've taught myself through self-coaching. So that's another leadership skill, is actually getting coached and journaling. So those are just practices that I recommend to all leaders.
That's a good one. Journaling's awesome. I do it as myself. So I'm with you on that one, Audrey.
Thank
Let's
you.
You're welcome. Rhonda, let's hear from you, Miss Sparrow Lily.
That's me. Honestly, I think the best leadership advice and encouragement you can do is to help people see the best version of themselves, help them to appreciate and acknowledge their gifts, because each of us have gifts like no other. And we're uniquely created and with purpose for sure. So leaning into that and really leaning into operating in your gifting is truly the best form of leadership advice I could give.
That's great. And I got a taste of Kama's leadership skills yesterday because she and I and Rhonda, we were on a call and she was running around town getting ready for an event for her brokerage. And I just, she's like all of us, we're all servant leaders. So I got to see a little bit of that, but share with us your advice, Kama.
Yeah, I believe that great leaders are great listeners. And I know that a lot of people like to be in leadership positions for, whatever various reasons. And when you are a leader and you can listen to those that are around you, you understand that you are leading a team. You're not by yourself when you're working with a group. Even with my brokerage, although it's my brokerage, it's my agents as well. Like, we're in this together. As long as I have agents under me, we're in this together. So I like to listen to what their needs are. I love to hear where it is that I can even improve myself or help them improve, and how do we become better as a brokerage. We're not a team, but we're a team. So John Maxwell says that leaders are readers. And one thing I do believe is you listen different types of ways. So you even read a room, you're listening and kind of seeing what's out there, who's in the room, learning different personalities of those that are around you, which was just mentioned. And that way, again, you can serve others better that way. And just feeding yourself, you're listening to, whether it's an audible or you're reading something and taking things in so that you can grow, because a leader doesn't always have to be the one talking. It's not about that. It's about listening to everyone that is around you so everyone can feel like their voice is heard. It could be an inclusive environment, and it just makes being a leader that more rewarding, knowing that you're listening to those that are around you and you're serving them and they're serving you, and it just all comes together as one. So I love that has always been my mantra, is that we always have to be great listeners. So Jocelyn, how about you? What's your advice on leadership that you can give to us?
I was so busy listening that I forgot that I was going next. Much like my fellow Wavemakers, to me, being a leader means elevating others to be the best version of themselves. I'm currently the president for ARIA San Diego, and what warms my heart the most is just, empowering others to take charge of projects or conversations even, and just seeing the light shine in them. So for me, it's all about just inspiring others and just, helping others shine, because when you let your own light shine, you inspire others to do the same. That's one of my favorite quotes.
I love that. And I don't know if you all caught on, Kama threw that word together in there. And lo and behold, isn't that our theme for WomanUP's conference this year? Because it's together that we can do amazing things. And speaking of which, tell us about a woman in your life who has helped you reach a goal or encourage you to step into your personal power. Because together, that's where we make magic. So let's start off with Laine.
Thanks, Rhonda. I had to think hard about this because there's been a lot of women, in my career and in my personal life that have assisted me in helping me be my best self. And I keep coming back to one of my sorority sisters. And I think of a sorority similar to WomanUP as a group of women that have similar values and want to help each other grow. But my friend Molly Tracy, she runs a digital branding agency called Vray. So she manages, influencers and then the brands and their contracts and all this stuff. And if you think about it, when she started her business about 12 years ago, that didn't exist. I mean, like, influencers weren't there. So Molly and I had the opportunity to walk into entrepreneurship together at about the same time in our lives. And there was a lot of things that were first. You know, you become a business owner and you're like, oh my gosh, like I didn't realize I was going to have to deal with, and there's a laundry list of things, right? So she's always been my person where we can say like, okay, friend hat on, or like, okay, business hat is on, or disregard everything I told you last week. Here's the advice that I'm looking for. I appreciate, you know, that she can look through many different lenses and she can be really honest with me. And I think that's difficult for people to have to deliver hard truths. But that's something that we believe in together, is that, you know, bad news has to travel just as fast. So there's been a few times where she's given me the advice of like, no, Laine, hard stop. Do not do that. Do not pass go. Do not collect that $200. And I appreciate when friends can be that honest, and be able to share, you know, the reasons why behind that as well. And I love to see her business grow. I mean, like, she is doing some big things. There's probably some influencers here that you all follow that she manages. And it's just exciting to see us grow together, in very different career paths, but being able to be that support together.
I love that. Hard truths and together for sure. How about you, Audrey?
Just like Laine, I had to think really hard about this because there's so many women influencers in my life. But I decided to choose 2 women, and I'll just tell a little backstory. So I went to Chula Vista High School, if anyone is familiar with San Diego, and there's 2 guys, both of them neighbors, one of them who used to give me a ride home. We basically grew up together, and then we went to San Diego State together, and they got girlfriends. And these girlfriends would, like, you know, push away all the other girls that they knew, but for whatever reason, because we were friends, we always got along. So these 2 girls, Gina Beck and Leslie Peraza, we've been together since San Diego State. And they both have been realtors. And I'm really appreciative of them always supporting my business. And I believe that them supporting me has gotten me to where I am today. And so I give them credit for that. Also, because, well, one of them's not a realtor anymore, she's a therapist, which I think realtors are therapists too anyway, but because of because of them, you know, like I said, I've gotten to where I am today. And now every week we get together on Tuesdays for a 30-minute hour talk. We talk about our gratitudes, our goals. We talk about where we're going to be going on vacation together, what we're going to do when we get old. And so it's just really great to have such loyal friends that basically have your back, and, like Laine said, call you out on anything that might be necessary to be called out on, especially if you have a therapist as a friend. Okay, that is not easy. But those are the 2 ladies. So there you go.
That's awesome. And I love that you make a conscious effort to connect weekly. That's absolutely incredible. How about you, Karen? Who's your woman?
Well, I want to be friends with them. So mine is my dear friend, Alexa. I met her at a recruiting event when I was the president of the Alumni Association, and she came to that event, and she eventually became my vice president. Through random jobs, eventually I asked her to actually do some personal marketing for me. And she continued to take on major corporate marketing roles for a wide variety of brokerages, all based out of New York City. She's the type of woman that many women just don't get, because she thinks way bigger than most. She can connect dots that people don't see. She's super connected, and she can literally find a way to fit a square peg into a round hole. Together, we not only sat as leaders in our alumni roles, but she continues to be my biggest cheerleader, sounding board, and idea creator and executor. And she executes on them even when I can't define them. So I can call her up and I can say, hey, I've got this idea. This is kind of what I'm thinking, and I can't quite see it. And she's like, oh, this is what you're going to do, and this is who you're going to need to meet, and this is how you're going to do it, and this is how you're going to market it. And you're just like, I just had my coffee. So she thinks like she is definitely one of those people that's very influential in my life.
She sounds absolutely amazing. She almost sounds like a female version of MacGyver, just saying.
She
And
really is.
And somebody should be tallying how many times the word together keeps coming up in this conversation today. So can't wait to hear from Kama. Who's your girl?
Her name is Donna O'Donnell. So I met Donna probably, I want to say maybe 2015, 16, somewhere in there, maybe 14. We met at my association. She came in from another association. She's been in the real estate industry for years. She did does commercial real estate. And from the time we met, we both ran for the board of directors around the same time. And she had decided to go on and move on to she ended up becoming treasurer and then president of our local association, the Inland Valleys. And I love her because she has been such a huge supporter in everything that I do. And it's one of those things that you never know who's watching you. And when you're looking at someone that's your mentor, you feel like when you use the word like mentor, to me, it's just something natural. Like I didn't walk up to her and say, would you be my mentor? I call her my mentor because she has helped me through so many different things, from understanding how to lead, just being one of my biggest cheerleaders when it comes to the leadership things that I've done, supporting me in my nonprofit, supporting me in my brokerage. And one thing I love about her is she keeps it straight. She's not afraid to tell me what it is, which gives me the boldness to be. And when I say what it is, not say anything negative, but just tell me the truth and the facts, which helps me to be that much stronger when I'm mentoring or someone's watching me or want me to coach them or whatever the case may be. It just helps me become a little bit better. So she has I still look up to her, and everybody I meet if she's around, I'm introducing them to her because she is just a huge supporter and a huge and a true friend. And I see her still leading at the California Association of Realtors and just doing what she does. So she has had such a very, very, very huge influence on where I am today.
That sounds amazing. And I don't know about the rest of you, but I want to meet Donna for sure.
I'll introduce you guys.
Hopefully she's accepting new besties because I'm in. All right, Jocelyn, who do you have?
Oh my gosh, again, just like everyone else, there's so many women. It was so hard to choose, but one of the many things I love about real estate is the fact that it is, very much women dominated. And I've been in the business for 20 years and I've had 4 different brokers. All 4 of them have been women. And probably the most influential one was the second broker I worked for, who I started off as working as her marketing assistant and also part-time real estate. And she just saw something in me and she's like, Jocelyn, why aren't you just doing this 100%? And I was like, frankly, I'm scared to, fly without a net. And she was the one that really just encouraged me to just, finally go off on my own and, pursue this full time. And, we still talk today. And I just, I think it's when people see something in you and they believe in you, you'll always remember them and go back to them. And what I'm grateful for also is that I'm friends with all 4 of the brokers I worked with. And that is it's just so special. And it kind of goes along with the whole WomanUP vibe, is that, this is what it's all about. We're not competing with each other. We're all just helping each other be our best.
I love that. And I
What
couldn't
about you,
agree more.
Rhonda?
Well, I honestly, because I think there's women that speak life in different seasons. So for me, honestly, my biggest inspiration is the Proverbs 31 woman. She just inspires me. She is, if you've ever studied her, she's a wife, a mother, a friend. She's a totally successful businesswoman, and she has a heart that just keeps giving to anybody she encounters. And she serves as just a role model to me of somebody that I am doing my best to become. And so that's probably my girl. And then I have a tribe of close friends that have been in my world, and they will tell me those hard truths and pull me back to earth when I start, losing my grip. So that's my girl, my P31 woman.
I love her.
I love that. I love that. I love it. I love her too. She is like one of the biggest entrepreneurs. I think people
right?
Part of what she is. She bought land. She sold things. She is just such the woman to definitely aspire to be and move up.
She's a hustler, baby.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. I love that. All right, ladies. So the retreat is coming up, and you have to admit that the video that we watched in the beginning was so relaxing. I literally just wanted to kind of chill and relax and just kind of kick back just from looking at the video when I was watching the water. What are you ladies looking forward to most when for the retreat coming up? So I'll start with you, Audrey.
Basically, I'm just looking forward to sharing thoughts, strategies with other women in real estate, and of course, making connections and new friends. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I already see the beach all the time, so I know some of you all are looking forward to the beach, but I'm looking to meet you all. It'll be fun. Thank you.
Well, that connection is going to be
Yes.
absolutely everything. And even with just the retreat, WomanUP, on the show today, I had a chance to connect with Jocelyn, and I'm just so excited that we have crossed paths, and I look forward to even getting to know you even more. What are you looking forward to at the retreat?
So much. Like Karen said, I'm kind of a conference junkie as well. This will be my third time attending the WomanUP retreat, and I'm kind of looking forward to the laid back vibe. I mean, I'm a San Diegan, so yeah, I get it why it's a lot more casual, and I love that concept. I think it's going to be totally fun and memorable. But what I'm looking forward to most is just soaking in all the information. Each time I've attended the retreat, it's been at different phases in my real estate career. So I just like going into it with a different set of eyes right now.
Awesome. Awesome. And Karen, how about you?
Well, there's snow on the mountains out my window, so I'm excited just to see the ocean, number one. As a conference junkie, I've been a speaker and ambassador. I lead workshops, and I'm excited. This is my first one, and so I'm excited just to take it all in, meeting new people, no expectations to play any particular role, and to learn from people, and hopefully to inspire people when asked.
Yes, I love that. I love that. It's always good to get inspiration. Laine.
Aside from the ocean, because Karen, I'm with you in Michigan, like we don't get as much ocean time over here. I think from a personal standpoint is the connections. I was able to attend last year, and there was just so many women that I was like, yeah, like this is a no-brainer. You're my kind of people, and like, welcome to my best friend group. On a business side, I'm really excited just to listen and learn. I think Rocket's in a unique position right now to be able to customize a lot of different offerings for agents and brokers. And I like to be in the business of giving people what they want rather than saying, here's what we have to offer, take it or leave it. So I'm excited to be able to listen to that feedback and make sure that, our businesses are aligned for the needs of, realtors, brokers, and specifically women. I'm just going to throw that out there that, I'm looking forward to that feedback. And again, the ocean, like bottom line, that's where I'm at.
Everyone has said the word connect for the most part. And that's what WomanUP is to do, is connect. If WomanUP has been a huge asset in my life. So connection, I've made several connections locally, nationally because of WomanUP. And this is proof that their mission to connect to others is actually, it's actually happening. I am excited for the speakers. One thing that I will say, going to WomanUP, been going since 2019, just hearing the stories and how so many of us connect through our stories. I've been able to connect with Katie Lance, for example. If you guys aren't familiar, I'm sure you are familiar with Katie Lance. She heard my story on the stage, and she started following me on Facebook, and I thought that was very cool. And we've been connecting ever since. And it's those connections in our lives that helps us grow and move and be inspired and empowering, and we can empower others. But there's two women I'm looking forward to the most to hear from. One of them, Tiffany Curry. I'm excited because she's a Black woman who was the first Black woman to own a franchise from Berkshire Hathaway. And I just think that is just the coolest thing. And just to watch her journey, I'm following her on Facebook, seeing all the great things she does. Very sweet, down to earth person, very giving heart. So I'm looking forward to hearing from her, as well as Sarah Ware out of Chicago, who is doing some phenomenal things and doing some big things at the National Association of Realtors. So I look forward to hearing their stories and getting to know them just a little bit better. Rhonda, how about you?
Well, I actually can mirror a lot of what Kama says. I've been going since 2019 and it's a game changer. But if I'm going to be truthful, which I am, it's that wine segment is no joke. That wine segment is all that and then some. Meeting the Mondavi sisters, hearing their story from where they came from and how they built that winery, and just honestly, the connections that you meet at this event, it's a support system that you can't even fathom. So I'm looking forward to all of it, but you will see me at the wine connection.
Yeah, you'll see me there too. And speaking of eating and drinking, I'm not sure if everyone knows, but us WaveMakers, we are all hosting dinners at various days and locations as part of the experience. And on Tuesday, I will be hosting at the Lab Collective. Funnily enough, I actually know the owner and chef, so I'm excited to share that experience with the group. What about you, Rhonda? Do you have yours?
Well, I'm going to host a dinner on Tuesday night, and you don't even have to know the name of it. Just look for the photo with the heart pizza. That's me.
And what about you, Kama?
I'm going to be hosting on Tuesday night as well at Master's Kitchen. And I'm excited because as I was looking at the menu, they look like they have some really, really good food, from shrimp Alfredo. They have American food, wings, hamburgers, and it's family owned. So I'm really excited. So if you'd like to join me, please let us know, or any of us, just please let us know.
It's like we kind of need like a speed dating thing where we go to each restaurant.
Right. Right. Just order some appetizers and everybody can go meet. That's a great idea. Great idea.
But it's a really cool concept. And I'm, again, among a lot of things, like that's one of the great things about this particular setup this year with the retreat is the no host dinner. So I'm looking forward to that. Right now, though, I want to take this time for all of you all to share your final words of wisdom. And I am excited to start with Karen.
So in 2020, I leased my very first car. I traveled across the country without a target, and I ended up in Park City, Utah. And a few days into my stay here, I decided to buy a condo. And I tell that story because that was obviously a very big decision. But I hope that you'll take this quote: when faced with making a big decision, ask yourself, what's the best thing that can happen? What's the worst thing that can happen? And what's most likely to happen?
Love that. That's awesome. What about you, Laine?
I think the biggest thing is just to breathe. I think anytime you're in like a tricky situation, you're like, oh my gosh, which decision do I make next? We put a lot of pressure on ourselves. So just like take a step back and breathe and know there's nothing that you can't solve for. And if you can't solve for it, like, frankly, it's not your problem. It's not yours to own. Maybe you need to delegate it to somebody else, but really keeping calm and being able to maintain your own composure for yourself and not be stressed out, I think is something that we can all take a lesson on. Yeah, just all the time. It's honestly, breath work, I think, is one of those things that is so underrated, and it's so simple to do. And it's, you don't have to leave the room for it either. You can really hone in on your body and understand it a little bit better. And I think we'll be doing some breath work via yoga beachside, in a couple weeks.
Yeah. And I want to hear from my fellow San Diego Aztec alumni, Audrey.
Well, I was just checking my breath there to make sure I was breathing, actually, because I don't know about any of you, but sometimes I'm like, was I even breathing there? I'm not sure. Anyway, thank you for that great advice, Laine. So one of the things that I've learned, because I did just turn 55 this year, and I'm proud to be that age,
Great girl.
thank you, is that I can trust myself. And I spent so many years of my life questioning myself and wondering if I'm doing the right thing, and not being sure, and going to other people for the answers. Now, I'm a total believer in coaching, but I also believe that just because you get coached, you don't necessarily take what the coach says or the book says or whatever says verbatim. You have to look inside and learn to trust yourself. So that's my advice, and that's something that I've learned in 55 years.
I love that, Audrey.
Thank you.
What about you, Rhonda?
Well, I'm going to join your speed limit club next month or in July, Audrey. But my advice is be kind to yourself. Stop saying negative things to yourself. And just really think about, you are handcrafted by God, and every quality that you have was picked specifically for you. So be nice to you.
Love it. And then Miss Kama.
I would just encourage everyone to continue to push through and break through the barriers. Life is going to bring us sometimes, I'll tell you, and for whatever reason, I feel like I'm the poster child for going through some things. But I tell you, if you can really push through those things and know that that is just temporary to help you to be stronger for whatever's to come, you will be able to get through. And if you have great people around you, I have some great friends around me, and people that encourages me, who builds me up, who is there for me and will not allow me to waddle in my self-pity. They are there to encourage me, and it helps me move forward every day. And so I would just encourage you to do so, and taking that time, just like we're doing at the WomanUP retreat, taking time to just kind of get away from things and reflect and relax and get yourselves prepared for that next day, that next project, that next deal, whatever it is that you're working on. I believe that it's important for our mental health. So definitely push through those barriers. Jocelyn.
Oh my gosh. You know, this is hard because there's so many things that, like, piece of advice that I've taken along the years, but I've got 2 teenage daughters, and they are both basketball players. And I always find myself yelling at them, not yelling in a bad way, but just encouraging them, when I'm in in the stands in the game. So I think the advice that, the words of wisdom is what I say to them when I'm watching them. It's take the shot, whether you miss or you make it, just take the shot. So I think that's just something that we can all, take in our own lives, and just think about it that way. Just go for it.
Yes.
I love that. Now, speaking of take the shot, this part, we're going to shoot them fast. We're going to do some rapid fire questions, quick answer, don't overthink it. And the first one, we're going to start with Karen, first job.
I worked at the movie theater. I made popcorn.
Laine.
I owned a lawn care service called Laine's Lawns.
Audrey.
That I was a newspaper delivery person.
Oh, very cool. Jocelyn.
I worked at the candy store at SeaWorld.
Candy store, comma.
I worked at Ben and Jerry's ice cream.
Ooh.
Very first job. Yes. And how about
And
you?
I was at In-N-Out. That's what a
Ooh,
hamburger's all about. Just saying.
my favorite place. All right, you ladies ready for the next one? What was your very first concert? I'm going to start with Laine.
I went and saw Alkaline Trio with my older brother. They're like a small punk band. And they're still one of my favorites.
Awesome. Audrey.
Boingo, boingo.
All right, Rhonda.
The Bee Gees.
Karen.
Sheryl Crow.
And I must admit, my very first one was just in 2018. I seen Mary J. Blige, the one and only concert. Yes.
Oh.
Jocelyn, how about you?
It was Paula Abdul.
Yes.
Fun.
Awesome.
Okay, I think, is it my turn? Okay, cool. I've got a good one. Are you an introvert, an extrovert, or an ambivert, which is a combination of the two? Karen.
Ambivert.
Rhonda.
Extrovert.
Comma.
Ambivert.
Audrey,
Extrovert.
Laine.
Ambivert for sure.
I'm definitely an ambivert as well.
Wow, very cool, very cool. Okay, ladies, you are going to fill in the blank. Here's the lesson. Woman Up is, comma.
Empowering.
Jocelyn,
Elevating others.
Laine,
Incredible connections.
Audrey,
The way to do it.
Karen,
Women supporting women.
and for me, I'm going to say fun. How could you not want to be part of this community? I'm just saying. Too
So
fun.
true.
Too much fun.
Awesome. Well, we're excited. We are super excited. We want to tell you, ladies, thank you so much. Everyone that's contributed to this show on today. And we look forward to connecting with each and every one of you. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Yay.
Thanks for having
So
us.
fabulous. Thank you so much.
Can't wait to see you guys in San Diego.
And thanks for those that are watching. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you, everyone. Make sure that you sign up too for the experiences, the yoga, the walk on the beach, the dinners, and make sure you go to IamWomanUp.com/2023 experiences. And we will see you next month.
Can't wait. Bye, girls.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.